Hi, let's review the library access through our OneTech portal. Simply go to the Arkansas Tech University main website at atu.edu, and we're going to scroll down and log into our OneTech account. Once that loads up, we're going to type in the same information that we used to access our Blackboard account, and once that loads, we simply see our email and our standard home page. We do see 5 tabs at the top, and right here we click on the Library tab. In this is going to be the home page from the library perspective, including an actual link to the main library website here, which is going to include some very helpful information from any releasing news that they want to relay to the student body, as well as where to find articles, electronic journals, and so forth, including the library hours themselves, should we need to give them a phone call or ask about a certain material. Do know that the library hours can change and often will change throughout the academic calendar and from term to term. So that's always something to keep an eye on to make sure that they are open when we're calling, especially if we're putting in some late evening study time. But nonetheless, we're a little bit more focused on some tips and some general information that we can use to help our projects, help our papers, help our academic coursework in general without actually being on site. And mainly focus through what's available through our OneTech portal here. To see what references and databases we even have access to, and maybe get a little bit of a better understanding of what content they include, we can always click on the database tab overview, and we'll see that the Academic Search Complete has thousands of journals and periodicals available to us, and Academic Search Elite, and so on and so forth. So if we just want to make sure that the journal is even something that we do have access to within our student account, this is always a quick way that we can click through here and see what's available for fish, fisheries, and aquatic biodiversity worldwide. So that's a journal that we do have access to, and it's always just a quick way to see what's available and what is not. To actually view these journals and what is included on this, we're going to go and click on this second link here, the online full text journals here. And once that loads up, we're going to see a few different ways of how to search to find the material that we need. So we have an available to check the index, and we'll just go through these briefly. You'll see kind of a listing of all the different options here, or the different journals that we have access to. Or we can even go maybe through the subject. Maybe we want to narrow it back down to agriculture or fine arts and what have you. So that's just one different method here. But for the sake of this, we're just going to go ahead and check out what's on the titles. And let's say we need to write a paper on some counseling. And we're a little bit more focused on higher education, so we're going to type in college counseling and click search and see what pulls up here. In this case, a single journal did come up, the Journal of College Counseling, and we see a different listing of some databases how to access this journal. And we see actually about 6 of them here. So have a lot of different options, but we do see some different years listed here. So what this is actually telling us is the Education Full Text goes back until 2001 to the present, but Academic Search Elite is going to go from 98 to the present. So that's going to give us a few different more, 3 more years to go farther back and review what material is available. And we also notice it says embargo 1 year. Now what does that mean? That's pretty much a holding period that any text and journal releasing isn't going to be available until 1 year after its initial first press release date. So in this case, we'll have access to 2011 and forward and behind when we're going through here. Now, I will say, do note that any kind of time that you reference or utilize any material found, whether it's on an actual textbook or a hard copy book, or it's an online journal that you're accessing the same print version but in an online electronic format, it does need to be cited, whether it's your APA and what have you. Make sure that it's cited, that way all of your material you're giving credit to who initially published these thoughts. And to do this, we're going to reflect on information here, such as the publisher's information, what the title is of the journal, publication types, it's an academic journal, and so forth. So that's just something that we always want to keep in mind of, making sure we're giving credit where it's appropriate. So let's go and just click in here and see what's available. Let's just do some browsing like we were walking down the stacks of the library. In this we actually see several different options: college counseling, psychological abuse, sibling maltreatment of college students' well-being. Um, Actually, it sounds like there's a lot of different things that I might want to review as I'm perhaps going to write a paper or work on a project. So if I want to go and click in this and see, it does give me a little bit of an overview here, but it's going to tell me just a little bit more once I actually click on the document whenever I read the abstract, which is just essentially a short summary of what this is about. So I say, okay, that looks like something that I'd be interested in. Let's go ahead and pull that up and take a quick glance at it, and it's going to load right up here electronically. Now I will have the option of saving this if I want to save it to my computer, or I can just leave it online and I don't have to save it. But if I do want to use it, or if I want easy reference, it's kind of your choice of what you want to do here. But I can simply read this and read this, or I might even want to print it off. Um, Ultimately, once more, it's just your preference, but it's just pretty much going through that there is a lot of access that we have, even being off-site, to some really good information to help us advance our academic coursework. But let's go and just hop back in here in the OneTech portal and kind of see what else is available. And we see a link to some government documents, which is it's going to be a repository to a lot of different websites, and there's a little bit more government focus in their nature. Now, I do find that this free internet resources is something that can help us pretty much regardless of what major we are in. And it's just got a nice repository of a whole lot of different free resources that might be really pertinent or maybe not pertinent to something that you're currently working on. But as we're scrolling down through here, we see everything from the Film Institute to Recreation and American Rhetoric. So that looks interesting. That's got some full text, some audio, some video, and if you're in a, a course where you want to maybe reference some speeches, or you're writing a paper maybe in history, well, let's go and check out this top 100 speeches and see what we have here. We've got, looks like some selected speeches that are pretty important and pretty common. We've got everything from the Malcolm X speech to Martin Luther King to Eisenhower's farewell address. And we see here that it's even, we can listen to it should we want to study and listen to the address, and maybe we're writing a paper on, Wilson's war message, and we can even read the transcript there in a PDF format. So, it's something that is actually free, whether you're an Arkansas Tech University student or not, but it's just a nice way that we can hop back through here and let's get back to that tab and see all the different options that we have. Just a nice listing, a nice concentrated listing of perhaps where we want to look at some French literature online. So once more, as I said, it's just a broad level of some different ways that we can really enhance our coursework. Now when we're writing these papers and then we want to do some citations, this is always just a nice research tool here that we can click on and see some citation links. So if your major is writing in APA or maybe the Chicago Manual of Style, once more it's just a place that we can go to find a little bit more information, but making sure that we are citing that properly. And as always, you can always reach out to your professor and make sure that, hey, this is what I'm looking at, this is how I've cited, is this correct? And make sure that it's appropriate before you actually turn in your final project. So just a broad overview of what the library has to offer, and essentially just a one-stop shop in our OneTech portal where we can go to online journals or maybe even just browse quick resources. And to wrap this up, we will take just a quick look at the curriculum and the information available actually on site here. If we just wanted to see what's available and maybe make arrangements to actually obtain that, let's go and say that we're still working on that counseling paper. So let's type in counseling and just see what loads up. And we see we've got a lot of different information. You see some catalog call numbers here, youth suicide, and career counseling. That looks like that might be something that we might tie into our paper that we're working on. So we'll see here is the author and how to go about obtaining it, and we'll just pursue that or not. Kind of at our discretion, but this is something where it would be on site. We might not be able to browse, flip through the pages, but at least we know it's there and can kind of make our decision as necessary. So as a student, even if you're not on site, there's going to be a lot of different options for you. Should you have any questions, please contact the reference desk or circulation desk. And as always, you're welcome to contact your academic advising center, and we'll see about pointing you in the right direction should you have any additional concerns. Thank you.